Hey guys, welcome to the 67th C programming tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be looking at another memory function called realloc. And realloc will basically allow you to give back some of the memory that you've allocated. So let's say that you allocated too much memory and you ended up not using all of it. Well, you can just go ahead and use realloc to give some of it, but not all of it, back to the heap. Alright, so first what we're going to do right here is we're just going to allocate enough memory for 10 characters. So we're going to say character pointer characters equals malloc to allocate the memory. And like I said, we want to allocate enough memory for 10 characters. So size of car times 10. Alright, and then what we're going to do is just make the first 5 characters of this array A, B, C, D, and E. So right in order. So we're just going to say for in I 0 while I is less than 5, and then we're just going to say characters at the index of I equals I plus 65. Now if you're a little confused by this, that's alright, but basically 65 is the numerical value for a capital A. So on the first iteration right here, I is obviously 0, so 0 plus 65 is 65. And like I said before, 65 is the numerical value for capital A, so that would make the first character inside of this array a capital A. Then on the next iteration, I is 1, so 1 plus 65 is 66, and 66 is the value for a capital B. And it just keeps going like that until it finally gets to E, and then it obviously exits the loop. And every time that we malloc memory or allocate memory, it's a good idea to free it. So at the bottom right here, I'm just going to go ahead and free characters after we're all done using it. So as you can see right here, we allocated enough memory for 10 characters, but we only ended up using 5 of them. So let's just say that we wanted to give memory back to the heap. Well, if you're thinking we could just do something like free characters or characters plus 5, then that won't work. We can't do this. We'd have to use something called realloc. And realloc will basically allow us to give some of the memory back to the heap. So we can just go ahead and call realloc like this, realloc, and it takes 2 parameters. The first parameter is the address to the memory that we want to reallocate, so we want to reallocate characters. And then the second parameter is the amount of memory that we actually used. So we ended up using only 5 characters, so we're just going to say we used that much memory. So size of car times 5 because we only used 5 characters. And realloc will basically just return the address of the new memory that it allocated. So we're just going to say characters now equals the realloc of this. Alright? So now let me just go ahead and show you what's actually going on in Paint because you're probably a little bit confused right now. So right here, this is basically what our characters looks like after it goes through the loop right here. We allocated 10 characters, so 10 bytes, and then we only ended up using 5 of them. So the first 5 are A, B, C, D, and E. The last 5, we have no idea what they are. We didn't reassign them any values, so whatever they happened to be before, that's what they are now. And then after that, we go ahead and call realloc on it to reallocate these 5 bytes right here. Now realloc will do one of 2 things. The first thing that it could do is just simply come down here and say, okay, you're not using the last 5 bytes, so we'll just go ahead and free those up. Another thing that it could do is it could come down here and allocate just the amount of memory that you ended up using, so 5 characters for us. So we come down here and allocate 5 characters, and then what it would do is copy over the bytes that you actually used. So it would copy over the A, the B, C, D, and E, and then it would just go up here, free this, and then it would return the new address. So it may not always change the address, but it's obviously a good idea to just be sure and reset the value of your pointer equal to the return value of realloc just to be safe. Now in our case, it's not really beneficial to use realloc. I mean, after all, we only allocated an extra 5 bytes of memory, but let's say that these characters were whole images. Well, maybe you were allocating 3 or 4 kilobytes, which still isn't a whole lot of memory, but it's obviously not a good idea to just have all that extra memory floating around. It's a good idea to free it up. So you could just free up the extra memory that you didn't end up using to give some back to the heap so that your program isn't using a lot of RAM. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Realloc is a pretty simple function. So see you guys.